Hey, what's up guys? Welcome to yet another Honda S2000 review. Some of you guys might recognize my buddy Seigo. I reviewed his RSX Type S a couple years back, and you guys probably recognize him from my track videos as well. He of course recently bought this 2007 Honda S2000 AP2 and has built it up in a relatively short amount of time from basically bone stock into a pretty well sorted track car. So tell me about your car and what kind of mods did you do to it and what's the overall theme of the build?
So I pretty much started stock. I just went to the track a couple times with just wheels and tires, and then kind of set a baseline lap time. So I ran like a 148 stock with the S2000, had like a Seigo 209 or so stock with the S2000 at Thunderhill Bypass, and then I started slowly upgrading, which quickly became lots of parts. I thought I would start slow, but I just threw everything at it.
But it's an eBay S2000 for the most part, isn't it?
That's what I kind of make fun of myself with. So the wing is like a rep, the lip is a rep, it's a lot of rep parts.
But functional.
Yeah, so I've only spent money on like suspension. I have a Fujitsu exhaust, bolt-on and a tune. I was just trying to go the cheap route.
The cheap route for functional.
Yeah, so I have rotas. I know everyone hates on rotas.
The Wet Sport TC105N.
But
replicas.
I wanted bronze wheels, but Wet Sport doesn't make a bronze.
I mean, you could have just got them painted.
That would cost way too much.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Point taken. I understand like your whole theme. Like you wanted a functional track car, especially because you're gonna beat on it.
Yeah.
If you break something that's legit, then it's gonna just cost you even more to replace it. So
yeah. So like great example, I had I was still on stock brake lines a while back, and I had these Rota Titans.
Yeah.
And the brake line exploded and spit like brake fluid all over the paint.
Yeah.
And I would have been sad if it was a legit like $1,800 set of wheels.
All right, so let's push the car a little bit and see how this eBay S2000 handles in the canyons. You're running HKS coilovers, right?
Yeah, I'm running
16K.
the HKS Hypermax 4 SP, so
Okay.
16K.
A little stiff, but let's see how it performs here. Your throttle pedal spacer thing.
Yeah,
it makes it a lot easier to heel toe.
It's a cheater code.
Alright, so just on that short little run there, it's funny because I just drove Dave's AP1, which is also, you know, like a purpose-built track car with even more parts than this. But it, you know, that's a high mileage car, 173,000. This has 100,000 less. The motor is the biggest difference. This just makes so much more power and torque. It's a huge difference, actually. If you look at it on paper, it's like, oh, 240 horsepower for the AP1 and the AP2. And then the difference is torque is only 9 foot-pounds. But like, yeah, you have a tune, so that definitely helps. But even without that, the AP2s that I've driven, they pull so much harder from, I mean, pretty much everywhere, like from 3,000 all the way up to redline to like 8,000.
Yeah.
It just pulls so much harder. You don't have to always shift. You can actually just lean on the torque coming out of corners. But even with the more powerful motor, it takes advantage of it even better because you have the shorter AP2 gearing. So you're always in that high RPM VTEC zone when you shift.
Yeah, so my VTEC is tuned to kick in at 5,000.
5,000, okay, so 1,000 lower than stock.
Yeah.
And then the other big thing I notice is in the canyons, I greatly prefer Dave's Olin's setup.
Yeah, of course.
This is just way too stiff. I mean, I can feel it bouncing around, and I know you set it to like a really soft setting.
I'm like at the softest setting right
Yeah, but I can just feel, so because it's really soft, now I kind of do feel some body roll, but at the same time, it doesn't take the bumps all that well.
Yeah.
Whereas Dave's car is just like, every time you go over a bump, you just feel that like nice little thunk, because you can feel the chassis is not moving. It's literally just the suspension travel that's absorbing all of that impact.
Not these. It's too track oriented.
Yeah, it's a little too track oriented, but I mean that's the point. You built it to be a track car, and you set really freaking fast lap times. Pisses me off, by the way. So you're at like what, 126.1 at Thunderhill West.
Yeah.
146 at
145.
145 at Laguna. Asshole.
Yeah, and 205.8 at bypass, Thunderhill bypass.
Okay.
But most of those were without aero.
Without aero. Okay.
The only aero time is the 126. Because that's when I just put the wing on at Thunderhill West.
That's right. Okay.
And the splitter.
Yeah. So you do have front and rear aero.
But I don't know if it helps that much at West.
Probably not too much at West, to be honest. But your engine it definitely gives you a little bit of an edge for sure.
Yeah.
Like the lower VTEC engagement. Oh man, it's nice.
Yeah, if I went with a larger exhaust, like a 70 millimeter, I'd probably be making like way more mid-range torque.
Yeah.
And a little bit more top end power, but yeah, the expense is stupid loud.
Yeah. I'm surprised it's only a 60 millimeter because it's quite a bit louder than Dave's. Dave's is also a 60 millimeter dual.
I think he's running a high flow cat.
Oh, okay. But you're on a test pipe, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So that's different. That's a difference right there.
eBay test pipe.
Suspension's all over the place on this road. Granted, this is a very, very uneven road.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
But these coilovers only cost like 1,600 brand new, right?
I paid like 15 something.
Okay.
Shipped.
And they handle well on the track, right?
Yeah. I mean, lap times.
The lap times reflected.
Oh yeah, I also have the Stop Tech big brake kits.
Oh, that's right. Okay, so non-replica Stop Tech big brake kit. Fronts only.
Yeah. I think that's what most people do.
Okay.
I think Dave had like the rear urge or Saki bomb.
Yeah, he has the AP Racing Saki bomb fronts, and then the rears are like the RX-8 rotors or something.
Yeah.
His car stops, I think, better than your car, potentially.
Really?
Yeah, it feels more stable. I don't know how much of that might be due to the suspension. I don't know.
It's probably his tires,
It might be the tires as well, yeah.
It's on like Maxxis RC1s.
Yeah, the RC1s, which is an R compound, whereas you're just on
cheap federal
RSRs, which is a very good tire for the price if you're just looking for performance, but they're very loud.
But I've already had like 5 track days on
Oh, really?
And they're still like tried on.
Okay.
They last a while.
So they're just loud then?
Yeah, they're just loud. But I don't even notice it in this car anymore.
Yeah.
And it's not like I daily it, so I don't really care.
Right.
How's the turn-in difference between his AP1 and...
You have lighter steering feel, which actually makes it feel like it's a little easier to turn in.
Mm-hmm.
I actually think the steering of this car feels not only like lighter, but also a little, I can feel the front end more, surprisingly. Let me comment on that in a second. I think the turn-in is similar, but the stability I have to give to Dave's car.
Yeah. Well, he has like, his pullovers cost like
a lot.
$1,000 more at least.
Yeah. So it is kind of a case of you get what you pay for in terms of ride comfort, I would say. But in terms of lap times, I think the 16K spring rates really do help your car quite a bit. I know that you're the type of driver who prefers to have a car where you have the option to oversteer versus just having to wait for the understeer to neutralize. So having that stiffer rear really does help a lot, because Dave's setup is 14K front, 12K rear.
Yeah.
And I have that same coilover setup, although he has the upgraded like long stroke rears.
Oh.
My car does seem to understeer at the limit.
Yeah, I don't have, mine's pretty neutral with the hint of oversteer.
Yeah, which in hindsight, at the time when I decided to go with Bolin's with those particular spring rates, that was my daily driver. So I was like, I probably want a car that has like very high quality damper with reasonable spring rates that won't break my back. But now that it's a dedicated track car, I kind of wish I had gone at least like 14-14 instead of 14-12 stagger. So back to the topic of AP1 versus AP2, which I know I've made so many videos on that at this point.
Review,
I really should just change it to S2000 reviews. But this motor is so much better in pretty much every way. I know the 9,000 RPM redline is like, a lot of people like that, but truth be told, it's just not worth the extra 1,000 revs, because you lose so much of that performance.
Yeah, I rev up to 8,500, so it's more like 500.
Yeah. And like people say, like, the AP1 motor also feels more responsive, blah, blah, blah. But I have to say that that's not true. After driving Dave's car back to back with this one, granted, Dave even has the Belay lightweight flywheel, which is only a 10-pound flywheel. This has a stock AP2 flywheel, right?
Yep.
Which is like, I don't even know, like 17
the
something.
Throttle response is a lot.
It's a lot better.
Too.
I think the tune helps.
The tuning kind of takes up any delay.
Yeah, like the throttle response is very immediate, and I think any advantage that you would get from the AP1's lighter flywheel and like the drive, the actual physical throttle cable, any advantage that gives you stock for stock, with the AP2 you can neutralize that with just a tune.
Yep.
So that kind of like makes me question whether an AP1 really is like a better S2000. I know people always say that, but this car handles, I mean, it's hard to say because it's not stock versus stock.
Yeah.
The car actually feels a little bit easier to just toss into a corner. I think that comes down to the steering. I don't know what real changes they made to the steering rack other than change the ratio, because I know the AP1 has a quicker ratio, but besides that, I think this rack actually feels a little more responsive. So you can pick up a car like this for less than 20 grand, right?
Yeah.
For an 06 to 09.
Yep.
If you spend, let's say 6 to 7K on mods, including some replica parts, for like around 25 grand, you can have a pretty damn fantastic track car.
I like it a lot.
Yeah.
I've been keeping up with most people in the A group. The only people I get dusted by are like the 5 fast people at every track day.
Yeah, which are like they just have tons of experience.
Yeah. Like even if they're driving an S2000, they're like 2 to 3 seconds faster than me.
Yeah. I mean, we'll get there.
Yeah. I mean, this is only my 5th or 6th track day with the S2000.
Yeah, and you already picked it up really quickly, and
I mean, it was immediately faster than my R6.
Well, what I'm more impressed by is the fact that you went from front-wheel drive only track experience to rear-wheel drive, and you were able to pick it up really quickly. I mean, I know you like spun like once or twice or went off like your first couple of track days with S2000, but that was it, right?
But it was like a 2 wheels off type of spin. It wasn't like a massive spin.
So it wasn't like an oversteer kind of spin.
It was. It started going and I couldn't. It was too late.
Oh, okay. What else are you gonna do to it?
I don't know.
Wait, what else does it need? Cooling?
I have an oil cooler.
That's right.
I really just seat time.
Just seat time. Okay.
I just want to be up there with the fast people.
Okay. Fair enough.
I want to be up there at like sub 125 Thunderhill West or around 125. Like close to 2-minute flat at Thunderhill Bypass.
Yeah.
I want to be like 143 at Laguna Seca. That'd be nice.
That'd be nice. And then like obviously sub 2 minute button below.
Yeah, but a lot of those times, I don't know if they use Federal tires. I don't know if it matters that much.
I mean, there's so many different,
Yeah.
you know, without driving the same exact car on the same day, you know, it's not an apples to apples.
Because people have like diff upgrades, gearing upgrades.
Right.
Stuff that I haven't done yet.
I think the gearing is fine for
Yeah.
AP2. There's no reason to do a shorter final drive.
Yeah, like cruising on the freeway, I'm already at like 4,000 RPM and I'm like killing gas.
All right, so thanks again, Seigo, for letting me drive your S2000. Glad that you finally got one so that I can chase you to the track.
Yes.
It just makes it so damn fun when like your friends all drive like the same car, but like with little differences.
Yeah.
And like depending on like, you know, your overall goal of the car, and then just, you know, just chasing each other at the track and seeing like where I'm faster, where you're faster, where, you know, certain parts make a difference. It just makes it so fun to be at the track.
Yeah, otherwise it's pretty boring going yourself. Stop.
Yeah, exactly.
My friend rammed my lip into those bricks before.
Oh, really? Okay, on that note, thanks guys for watching. I know I've just been doing hella S2000 content lately, but it seems that you guys liked seeing that. So let me know what cars you guys want to see in the future. I'll try to lock them down, and I'll see you guys next time.